I'm Alex Hirsch, and I hate candy corn. It's gross.
Hi, I'm Alonso Ramirez Ramos. I was a storyboard artist on this episode.
Hi, I'm Matt Brawley, and I was also a storyboard artist on this episode. Woo! On Gravity Falls, we start with what we want to do, and then we think of a justification for it later. Here, we wanted to do a Halloween episode, so I just wrote this little intro where he's like, "Wouldn't you know it? It's now. I have a calendar," and then we just say, "Yep, they've got this," because we love Halloween episodes. I love Halloween. The fact that the show takes place in the summer, we're just gonna excuse this. This sequence was all boarded by Matt. Yes, I think probably with help from Mark Garcia.
I think that's
yes.
I think Mark did some great work on this.
Amazing work.
And we in that quick pan where the kids are running behind the wheelbarrow, there's a bunch of masks on the wall. Those are all caricatures of the crew. You'll see a lot of us in there. This episode originally had a different opening. The little bit of story before the theme song on a TV show is called the cold open, and sometimes it's just it sets up the story. Other times it's a bit of texture. Originally there was a scene where Stan runs into the kids' room and he makes his own face melt off in front of them and scares them to introduce them to Summerween. But it felt to me like there's so much more to Halloween that we were missing, and so I kind of late in the game, I think I added extra script pages for this intro just to see them all. To me, so much of Halloween is the anticipation.
What made that super real was the super tired store clerk.
Yeah.
a poor teen that has to work through Halloween at a Halloween store, which just has to be the worst.
Yeah.
And everyone's messing with the costumes.
Yeah.
Tossing things
There's,
around, and they just like
everywhere.
I think what I love about that scene is in the shortest amount of time, it just shows you the entire Pines family is being just fun and ridiculous.
They're a menace.
They're
a
ridiculous.
mess.
Yeah.
Like Seuss is so enamored with these talking heads. Dipper and Mabel are having too much fun.
comes back.
Stan is terrorizing children, stealing, using smoke bombs, and paying with Stan bucks. We very quickly are able to give you a sense of pretty much everyone before the story even begins.
Oh man, those Alex, who came up with the watermelon jack-o'-lanterns?
I know, it's so iconic. It's
The
really-
jack-o'-melons, that's a great question. I'm not sure. That might have been a Tim or Zach idea.
I think it really painted the aesthetic for what Summerween
It's
is.
really, I feel
Yeah.
like it kind of makes it all work.
Yeah, it makes it all work.
It's one image that makes you say this is an absurd concept, but
But I
okay,
buy it,
summer,
yeah.
sure, pumpkins, watermelons instead of pumpkins, good
I
enough.
put the knife on that watermelon.
This was our art director, Ian, did a great job of just the color on this. And this loser candy, this was something that me and Mike added to the story kind of late in the game where we were just looking for a really specific Mr. Adequate bar.
Adequate
Homework
bar.
and candy, that's my favorite.
Gummy chairs? Whose joke is that?
I think that's a Zach Paez joke, and I think the way that
Right.
you boarded it sold it.
It's so good.
Mabel's
I like that they don't have a cover or anything.
yeah, they're just out there. Mabel's sweater, I think, is meant to be colored like Freddy Krueger. I think that was the reference.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's really
That was
Yeah.
kind of a specific.
Didn't know that.
I remember something really fun about this episode was deciding what were going to be the costumes
Yes.
for the characters, and we went through a lot of options.
That was very difficult. I remember in an original draft of the script, I think Dipper was dressed as I think the first draft written by writer Zach, Dipper was in this old timey. He was an entire ship, like a naval ship, like something he had
Interesting.
spent weeks on. The idea was Dipper cared so much. And Mabel had a bunch of different, really funny different ideas. But
because anything would be
Right,
just
anything
so
works
great.
with her.
I remember thinking that thematically, I really wanted to be Dipper and Mabel are two things that go together.
Yeah.
And
Because that's what it's all about. That
Right.
episode.
right. And even though Dipper would not agree to be a peanut normally, I think Mabel would be like, we're peanut butter and jelly, we're peanut butter and jelly. And Dipper would say, sure, fine, I guess. And then he'd see the costume and be like, good God, I'm a little baby peanut.
Right.
I'm trying to impress this cool girl who's driving off to this cool party.
Right, but I feel like any other day he would have done it and be fine with it.
he would have
But it
gone
was just his mind was on Wendy now.
Yeah, he definitely would have done it inside the house. I think
Right,
Dipper
inside the
wouldn't
house.
have worn the peanut outside
Oh
of the
no,
house.
the
Stan.
Stan is Herman
the
Munster.
Munsters.
Is great.
Oh.
Candy is
Grandpa,
candy. Is
Candy
great.
is Candy.
Which one of you guys designed Mabel's jam?
I
jelly?
feel
Well, I
like
think we did it together,
it's
we
possible.
were-
I feel like Alonso, you did the heavy lifting on those two. I might have done the stand. It's all kind of a blur.
Those are. It's such a
Yeah.
cute. I
I
didn't.
definitely worked on the peanut head for Dipper.
yeah,
I really.
yeah. Peanut head is tough.
When I wrote peanut butter and jelly, I had no idea what it would look like. And Mabel is so cute with that little.
Like strawberry
yeah.
shortcake.
Strawberry.
Well,
hat.
and in Dipper's defense, it's not a great look. The peanut
Right.
is kind of like it
But
has
it-
this kind of brainiac,
know what I mean.
But it didn't to serve two functions, right? Like, just be ridiculous enough. Like, you get why Dipper's feeling this way, but like, it also looks fun.
But also be kind of cute.
Okay, so we should just say, I mean, the Summerween monster, I don't know how you guys feel, is like one of my favorite Gravity Falls creatures. He's awesome.
Me too. This episode was instantly loved when it came out, and I think it's because it delivers on the promise of the show actually being scary.
It's actually scary.
I figured like this character should play it straight. Like, there should be nothing jokey about him until the big reveal, so that the joke is... I think it was when we thought of the phrase trick or treat or die that the episode finally worked. It was like, okay, like, we've seen a lot of trick-or-treating episodes, but what if you were forced to trick-or-treat and a monster's literally going to eat you?
Right.
This was a great design by character designer Chris Houghton.
Who later
became a storyboard artist on the show.
I want him to feel like he's sort of like the Scarecrow. He's sort of like the No Face from Spirited Away. Kind of want to mix these things together.
And this Gorney, tell us who this is.
Gorney, Zach Pius, one of our writers, had the idea of a kid named Gorney, which always made me laugh because it's barely even a name. And the only reason he's there is to show the stakes. So like in storytelling, you're constantly trying to create high stakes very early on in the show so that you care about what happens, and you're trying to show what happens if you if you lose. So the kid shows up and immediately gets eaten, so for the rest of this episode I might actually watch someone get eaten. When he says trick or treat or die, I'm like, yeah, Gorney's gone.
And I love that we care instantly about Gorney, even though we haven't seen him ever, but he's great. We miss him. And I love the stories where it's actually really scary, but the characters' reactions are really funny.
Yes, like
and
that.
It's such a nice contrast.
That to me really is the spirit. And like we were talking, we've been doing a bunch of different commentaries today. We were talking about the tone of Gravity Falls. We recently did the commentary for Dipper versus Manliness, and I talked about how I always was frustrated with that episode because I felt like this might be fun, but it's not the tone of Gravity Falls. This episode is the tone of Gravity Falls. Gotcha. It's funny, it's nostalgic, but it's also genuinely scary at times. It's got a role for all the kids. It's got social stakes and it's got monster stakes.
This one has some pretty heavy stuff about growing up too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and that's, I remember I felt a little conflicted about that because I felt I'd seen some holiday specials that are about the same theme of, one character. Because most holiday specials are about a character who doesn't like the holiday, right?
Sure.
Every Christmas special is like, I don't like Christmas. I don't appreciate Rosh Hashanah. I do love it now. And so, like, to me, we got away with it, by inventing a fake holiday. So it's like, you don't have enough Summerween spirit. And Dipper's like, what is this?
Right.
So you kind of side with them a little bit. You're like, it's just something they made up. But the idea that, like, that general idea of Dipper's growing out of it and Mabel isn't.
Oh no, the runner!
What the whole
the
series?
Runner
with the little kids that come in.
Stan trying to scare these kids, man.
He also has some self-doubt.
Oh, there's a horrifying shot at the end of this episode with Stan.
So this scene of Stan's face melting, this was originally how the episode began.
Oh my
Stan
gosh.
doing this trick on the kids. I don't remember where this idea of these two disaffected kids who are unscarable came from, but we always like it when Stan's greatest rivals are children, like Gideon. Stan is so full of himself.
It works so well,
that it's really funny to see him foiled.
God. Oh no. Yeah. That's convincing, Stan.
These are also great design. I think, Alonso, you boarded the first look at these kids, didn't you?
Right, because I was working on Act 2 at the time, and they come up there. So we had to work in tandem. And
this is a great example of like how we have to communicate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We had fun figuring out what everyone would dress up as. We know Blubs and Derlin love nothing more than each other. So
Alonso, is this you?
Not yet.
Okay.
This line of Mabel saying, "Dipper, you're taking the fun out of trick or treat or die," and Dipper says, "I'm trying to take the die out of trick or treat or die."
Solid.
That's their characters in a nutshell.
Oh gosh.
And I like this episode where Dipper thinks he can have both things.
Yes.
Like, I'll save our lives, I'll go to the party, I can do everything. But like, no, Dipper, you just have to choose.
You have to make a choice. These things that Lazy Susan says, squeegee, ant farm, all improvisation by
the way,
Jennifer
I
Gould.
love Lazy Susan.
This is really accurate. Like, I went trick-or-treating once and I wasn't in costume, and people are loath to give you candy. They'll be like, get out of here, you little scamp.
You didn't try.
Yeah. Even if when you're with friends that are dressed up.
Do you remember how old you were when you stopped trick-or-treating?
I think the last time I went was in high school. I think I was a high school junior, and
Oh,
someone
you
was
lasted
like,
long.
Yeah, someone pointed to my friend and was like, "That's a man." Like, you know what I mean? And that was it. That was the end.
Alonso, do you remember?
I didn't used to go.
Oh, you
trick-or-treating
never went
in
trick-or-treating?
Mexico, no.
Is
where I grew
trick-or-treating not a thing in Mexico?
up. No, it is. I just didn't do it.
You just didn't do it.
But did
man.
dress up for costume parties and stuff.
I think mine probably would have been.
I was a samurai pizza cat one year.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
You're
that
a
was a good-
samurai
That's
pizza
good.
cat?
Yes,
That's good.
I love
That was amazing.
Dude, I'm
and
pretty-
really
Waldo
nerdy
another
costumes.
year. Okay, this is.
I
where
think this is the switch.
This is the
yeah,
switch,
yeah.
yeah.
You got it.
The switch of.
Board. So this is where we split it in half.
Okay, so this is where this is
the
definitely.
alien joke.
This is definitely Alonso's section because a Stan face like that, nobody could draw a Stan's face like that. Also, watch Waddles when he falls out. He does the cutest little walk away. Like nobody drew a cuter Waddles than Alonso. Look at that little.
So good.
Like
Thank you.
Oh,
they
this
tormented
I
him.
love this.
we gotta
designed
know
that cat.
the network was scared that this was going to be too scary, so like we had
That's
to,
how you know it's good.
we had to make some adjustments to make it not too scary.
I love this when he looks in the mirror.
For
What
Stan.
happened to you? Yeah.
He's
It's great.
So pathetic.
I love Stan's kind of existential crises.
There it is.
That's such a good. That's such a good reveal.
It's great.
Um,
Great.
And Candy's line here is great. I'll make you internet famous.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So good.
That Matt, did you board that section where he looks at his wrist?
I don't think so.
Oh, just because
no.
that hand didn't look
yeah,
like an Alonso
that
hand
is
to
like your
me.
drawing. Yeah.
Like,
What?
That's my
How?
little dance.
It had to be an Alonso. It had to be probably the reason this biker, we call him Bats Biker because it says bats on his tattoo because it originally said stab. The network had a problem with it, so we
it's
just flipped it
bats.
around and made it
Good.
this
Candy, yes.
This joke
great
was added
joke.
very late.
Yeah, I
in
can't
Animatic.
remember why that was added. I think we just wanted Candy to have an extra line.
Did they already do the twins thing? That's like one of my.
Oh, they just
favorite
did it.
things.
Cha-cha-cha.
I
Twins.
love
And
that.
twins.
The background team did such a wonderful job, and there's such
stuff's great.
atmosphere here.
This is great.
The fact that it's foggy, it's
I
getting
love the
darker.
time lock. Like the time is, you can see people blowing out their lanterns. It's
Yeah.
really
Right.
great.
So
Right.
one of the things that you do when you try to create stakes in storytelling is you try to show what would happen. Worst case scenario, you try to create a ticking clock.
Yeah.
So in this
It's always
version,
great.
when the last Summerween melon is blown out, that's when you will be eaten. Gives you something so you can track the story, and allows you to feel tension when it's too late. This is a real cute boarding, them hugging each other.
Yeah, I remember you telling us that don't be afraid to have characters interact with each other and like they touch each other's faces and they're like hugging and that's what like makes it like really like feel real and feel physical, and we really try to push the models to do those things.
Well, it's so interesting because those moments are like the most screen cap moments. Like a character just like, like a kind little gesture, like a little hug, a little elbow, like characters just kind of looking at each other. Like people love that stuff. It makes the characters just
Yeah, they really come to
feel
life.
real.
Yeah.
Um,
And then Roby is really cool in this one. I feel like he's just like
Oh,
very
look at
mellow and he's doing his job to be intimidating, Oh no, the betrayal.
Betrayal.
I know that there's some episodes where Mabel like crosses over into being like a little too aggressive, but I think she's got a good point in this episode. I think her
Absolutely.
feeling betrayed by Dipper
Absolutely.
feels super real to me. And like me and my sister never had a moment like this. I think we both were over trick-or-treating at about the same time. But I
That
had,
ledge looks dangerous. We shouldn't be.
yeah, I had moments like this with friends where you realize like this
Got
friend's
it.
not into this anymore. Like, and you're kind of
Wait, this streetlight shot coming up. Is
oh
like
yeah,
one
this
of the
is
best.
this is all great. Good night. McGucket at this point was basically a feral possum in terms of his level of intelligence.
Right. Like he was not there at all. And then I had him move like some sort of raccoon going up the car later on.
I'm old man McGucket. This great yeah,
Like, he
Alonso,
gets
you did a
the
great
skin,
job.
like-
I see.
The
That's
scammer.
right. That's right.
Great posing of him scampering out of there.
He comes a long way. Yes. That's great.
We
Oh, this is my favorite.
It's good shot. It's creepy. Jeff Glenn Bennett, the voice of the Summerween Trickster. I think I literally said I want to get the guy who did Candlejack in Freakazoid, and so we just got the same voice actor because I remembered it being a great creepy voice.
I love this hand thing he keeps doing. It's great.
It was. I remember. Oh yeah, this is super cool that he grows
and
these
this
arms.
section, our director John Aoshima did a
really great
job.
And
Chris Houghton again did an amazing job with the transformation stages.
Yeah,
it's hard to do. That's hard
it's
to
super.
do.
It was something funny. Is I think literally every day I will see a tweet where or on Instagram or something where somebody says, I don't know if anyone noticed this, but this guy kind of looks like No Face from Spirited Away. Literally everyone notices. It's not an accident. It was on purpose.
It's the worst kept secret.
We just thought like we want something scary. What's something legitimately scary? And we knew that we wanted him to be made out of candy, so we knew that he could be anything, and we knew he needed a mask. So he started going that way anyway. So it's like fine. Like,
but
use the influence.
I was also inspired by Evangelion. You know, if that helps. Like the walk coming forward. You know, that was very like Eva kind of had the shoulders and stuff. I've just seen that image of a terrifying.
I know
monster.
exactly what you're talking about.
This scene right here where Dipper says, "Hey, are you okay?"
Oh boy.
I remember me and Mike Rianda, we wrote a bunch of different versions of the scene, and we realized it was best for her to say nothing, like because they've got such a good relationship. They talk all the time. That Mabel not responding. I don't think there's a single other time in the series where somebody talks to her and she literally doesn't even look at them.
And like
it
she's
shows
mad.
a depth of hurt.
I think like there's only a few times in the series where like Mabel really needs like reassurance and really needs like Dipper to like say something because she's so confident and I think this is one of the episodes where she needed something from Dipper, and luckily like there's that scene at the end where like they talk it out and they resolve their issues and their feelings.
Well, and the whole reason that we show that montage of them as kids growing up always in those costumes in the beginning was to set this up, that like, you know, you want every character's motivation to feel believable, and the idea that they've done this every single year. Every year they plan a group costume, something they love, something they celebrate, something they take photos, and Dipper just on his own decided it's not happening anymore. Like, I totally get that betrayal.
Yeah, and I think this really echoes the end of the series, you know, like it's all about growing up, you know, and this is the first time we're really asking those questions, right?
He wants to grow up too fast. She doesn't want to at all.
I love how this scene is handled. I love their heads are a little bit compressed and like it's tight and it's well boarded and very emotional.
We were thinking our inspiration conceptually for this was the kids in the kitchen in Jurassic Park.
Yes, absolutely.
It's just like
I feel it.
You're hiding and there's something creeping around.
It's great.
This was a nice solution for how to get that forward.
Or a quick solution.
Yeah.
Running out of time.
Yeah,
great.
It works.
That's great. That's great.
It works. So
I love their little Shy Guy outfits.
This whole thing being also, I was really, really happy that we were able to figure out a way from a plot point of view.
No.
Yeah, this is one of those times where like Seuss.
This is the dumbest Seuss has ever been.
This is the dumbest Seuss, but I mean we love
it. It made Mike laugh so hard when we were in script phase that Seuss is like, "Oh, I gotta get some batteries in this guy."
Yeah, I had fun drawing him opening the batteries and putting them in.
He's the voice of a generation.
Yes,
we love the Seuss. We love the idea that Seuss laughs at those awful Crypt Keeper jokes, like "I'm dead serious." Like, oh my gosh, how did he think of that?
Yeah, presses it one more time.
Seuss is the only person who would think that that's a great joke. I was also really happy that we were able to think of a reason to have the episode final fight take place in a Halloween store.
It's great.
To me, so much of my memories about Halloween are in that location.
Those weapons, I mean, we all have it there, so we just might as well use it. Right?
Yeah. It gives each one of them a little chance to be a hero.
Here's the reveal.
It's coming up.
So this was, I mean, I assume you guys have this memory as well. Maybe not you as much, Alonso, because you didn't go trick or treating, but like, there's some candy that just has always been bad.
No, I know about that.
Sure. That's universal.
Like wax lips, gross.
Terrible.
Don't like them. Leave chocolate out too long, it gets all weird and it gets that white powdery stuff on it.
That's exactly how it looked like.
Like pretty much anything that's got
the teens came back in
this. Yeah, that was a nice little callback. It's the same teens
Inconveniencing.
from Inconveniencing. They have names. I'm trying to remember. It was I think their names are written either in Gravity Falls Journal number 3 or one of the online games. We came up with like canon names for them, but I
think
like
at the time we were so hungry to create this lore for Gravity Falls that we were all like trying to put in things and kind of like keep growing the mythology of the show.
And I was so excited when I would see like something by a board artist that could like add to the continuity. This is our second alien stomach burster
it's a
joke
payoff.
in the episode.
It's a payoff.
Is it a payoff or is it just us doing the same joke twice?
Set up,
Maybe.
pay.
This is all boarded
Candy
so well.
blood.
It's such a morbid thing that Seuss eats his way out of this monster.
And he enjoys it.
Well, that's the thing is this monster has a remarkable amount of pathos. Like I feel really bad for him.
Which
Right.
one of you guys boarded the candy corn tears?
Oh, that's Alonso.
That's me.
That's my favorite
for
joke
sure.
in the whole episode. It's so good because it's both sad and ridiculous at the same time.
Look,
I didn't
he's
notice
holding
that
a
was a
heart.
heart.
He's
That is a
literally
Who
heart.
did that?
Yeah.
Was that one of you or was that the
I
prop
think
not
that
designer?
was
me.
added
It's not
later
me.
on. Yeah,
I
think
think
that's
one of our
just
designers
Bob,
I
yeah.
didn't ask for that. I was surprised to discover him eating his heart, but I went with it. I was cool with
Here
it.
comes his
His big
this
reveal.
the
graduate moment.
graduate shot. I
Yeah.
was
Nobody-
about to say that.
I got a lot of pushback on this that Stan finally scares them with his disgusting old man body.
No, man, it's horrifying.
And they said you can get away with it if afterwards we show that he had his boxers. We could still have
Oh
that
my
shot
gosh.
on
Right.
the channel as long as soon as we cut back to right now when he walks out.
He
He's got
has
his shorts.
boxers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was fine with that compromise
It's
because
just
we
his
still got
scary
to be
chest.
horrifying for a moment. This
the movie in
This
the,
movie on the background. This movie is called The Fear Guy from Terror Town Street.
Yes.
that was. We didn't have a name for that movie. That was me and Mike in the booth. There's probably a 15-minute tape of me going the fright Kateers from Spookmare Avenue.
Yes, that's
Friday the 13th. And we just finally wound up on the dumbest sounding one. Robbie is cool in this episode, but she reveals that he ate a lollipop stick backwards and had to go to the
I never got that.
It's just that he choked on it. Is that it sounded like such a rad party, and then it was
Yeah,
actually
it's
super
that
lame.
he was lame at the
It's
end.
that
he was lame.
yeah,
He's a
lame.
big
Yeah,
lame-o.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then Dipper
Band-Aid,
gets the
great.
Band-Aid.
super sweet.
Also-
I also
yeah.
got a note. I remember somebody saying, "Now at the end of the episode, Stan says that the real lesson is celebrating pure evil. Are we sure that's the messaging that we
Absolutely.
want in this episode?"
100%.
And I was like, "Yeah, it's a Halloween episode. The whole point is for one day of the year." Everybody gets to just let the inner demon out and we all celebrate it. And that's why we go to Disneyland, go to Haunted Mansion. This is part of all storytelling. Yeah, we're celebrating evil for this episode.
This has the greatest last line.
I ate a man alive tonight.
Oh, what's the end tag?
Oh,
yeah,
the
yeah,
wild
yeah, yeah,
joke.
yeah. With
That
the
was-
Dolly Parton music, right?
Yeah.
No. Yes.
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 Dolly Parton's 9 to 5. Normally they won't let us license music for this, but I think
boy, it was worth
our
it.
editor Kevin Locaro
Oh,
put this
boy.
in the end tag, and it made us laugh so hard that we just begged them, please, let's shell out the absurd amount of money to get the rights for 9 to 5.
Casual
And
Friday?
I have no regrets.
That little butt.
He's so cute.
He's
Genius, man.
He's a hungry little
Awesome.
guy.